Maker, and Foundry is who did Abomination Bolts.
Yeah, the difference in quality is noticeable. Metamorphic or Metamorphic does do the module and it does get it out, but the difference in map quality, you will be able to tell which they have done and which they have not.
I feel for me it's like I don't really go in for all of the journals with all of the decorative stuff, the pictures and all the very very wordy. The text, just like the books, right? The very first thing I do when I get one of these books is chapter by chapter, I feed it into AI and I say, make this more concise without losing details. And it halves the size of the chapter. And then I just go through it to make sure yeah, because I just find they just waffle on about stuff that
they're trying to fill the book.
Yeah. Yeah, it is unfortunate. I mean, I think that's what a lot of the subsystems are too.
Yeah.
Because as we have been told, the writers do not do the subsystems. It is the creative director who comes in afterwards and adds the subsystems in underneath where they feel like they're needed, according to two of the writers that we've spoken to. So they don't even have a choice. And one writer that we spoke to said they hate subsystems.
Yeah.
But it is just a part of the process. I think specifically the one that they had an egregious point with was the research subsystem.
We also
and that's coming
dislike
from a
that
writer.
one.
Yeah. There is absolutely fluff in these though, and it is unfortunate that there is. You are correct. It is very wordy, where it's like, this is Jimothy, and I'm gonna give you half a page about Jimothy, who is only on scene for 5 seconds. It's like, bro, I don't need any of this.
Yeah, or they spend a lot of time giving the GM background on stuff that is not even going to come up in play. You know, it's like, I mean, I understand having a bit of sort of a bit of lore to kind of understand how it got to that point, but I don't need that much information unless it's something that I can feed to the players. I feel like it's almost wasting space.
Well, that's what a lot of, unfortunately, back matter has been in these books over the last while, is that so much of the information that you're given is just never expressed to the players in any way, shape, or form. And it's kind of up to you to adjudicate how much and where you want to integrate it into your campaign, which I think is fine. It gives the GM increased, capability of expanding a story. That's why they release these like Lost Omen books that go alongside a specific region. Totally understand. Perfect.
But this adventure is less than half the book. So more than half the book, in both cases, like 51 pages, 57 pages of the adventure, and then you have 49 pages, 43 pages of back matter. It doesn't add up to content for what we're getting, because you have nice things in here, like the islands, which are really, really good ideas for side quests and everything to explore the world of Iblados, kind of like you have in Indigo Isles. And you can speak from experience with that, with all the flavorful little archipelago isles, and each one kind of has their own gimmick and stuff, but they're over and done with in less than a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think they felt that because this area hasn't really been explored in other material, right?
Correct. This is the first time.
Yeah, so I feel they felt they have to put, but yeah, you can actually. I feel that they feel they need to separate it out so it's a reference. That can be used as a reference book. Like if it was me, I would have just put all of that material into the adventure.
Yes.
Instead of back matter, just bake it in.
Yeah. So you experience what the world is like what the area is like, rather than just reading about it. It's the whole.
Well, I've got bad news for you.
Show, don't tell.
I've got bad news for you. That's exactly what this adventure is about, is a history lesson. Why
See,
aren't
like
you
I
gasping?
don't have any
uh,
real issues with this book after like, giving it a mild read through. But
no, I actually like it. That's surprised me. Is I'm actually yes, it can be a bit sparse in times, but this one is a lot more what I was expecting a mythic adventure to be.
Hmm.
Like there's some really cool set pieces in this, like the honey heist and the
Oh
going
yes.
down into the yeah. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. It's just I feel they don't take it far enough in places. It's
That is true, like the islands and such. Uh,
mm,
may I say though that there is one major gripe I have with the story that I think you may all agree with. Our rivals are over and done with before they start. Also, one of them was able to cure the affliction that was happening to the people of the city state previously with just her tonics and potions. One person was rebuilding completely destroyed houses, and another of them fed the city with all the fish from the sea. And none of them were recognized for this. The player characters were chosen as the superior choice for the myth speakers when they did the myth speaking, and the Cyclops didn't so much as even answer their questions. They're undergoing the same curse at the same time, and they're scared and confused, and they feel as though they've contributed and helped, which they have. Yet the module tells us that they did so with selfish reasons.
mm.
That's not really true. They helped people, and they were able to do it without the ritual that the players needed. They were doing it on a case by case basis, but they were still helping.
I think that's a matter of one writer thought it would be cool to have rivals. The next the next didn't, so let's get them out. Yeah.
yeah, hopefully that kind of stuff is really like fixed upon in
I
the combination books. I don't think the first one
I
will
don't
be.
think it's going to make a single bit of difference. I do not think that was any motivation at all for them to do that. I don't think they care.
It's about a monetary issue.
Yeah, that's what it's
It's
driven
about
by.
it's about getting people to buy the upfront because they already weren't selling as many book twos and threes anyways. It's a
Mm,
strictly financial printing cost
mm,
And remember, they
decision. And they
lost.
even
Go ahead.
and they even came out and said, it's still going to be written by three writers. They're just going to get together in a Discord now. And it's like
Right.
they should have been doing that to begin with.
But then
Yes.
they even said that some writers don't like that. They don't.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
even
he
said
did
that.
say
But
that. He's
yeah,
like, some
and
of them
so
are a little against it. It's like, I don't fucking care if you're against it. This is your
yeah,
job.
that's what I feel like. So hire different writers. Like it's a team effort. If you're part of a 3-book thing and you have to work with 2 other authors,
Yeah.
yeah, it should be mandatory. We want people
Who took
who
us
are
off the
going to
scene?
Sorry.
who are going to work.
I
did
didn't
that?
mean to.
No.
Sorry.
Oh, you shall be
Yeah,
punished.
it's I do not believe it's going to be any change in quality. Maybe some slight improvements of editing, but
Mhm.
even that, I really feel their editing is more or less run it through a spell checker.
It's honestly not. Speaking from personal experience, I don't know who these spell checkers are. I don't know who these editors are.
They've done a bad job
But
already.
Mm,
what I can tell you, I I'm not speaking on this project because I have not digged in as deep as I have on previous projects.
mm,
But these editors are
shit.
asleep at the wheel. I don't
Yes,
know.
that's kind.
Like I genuinely like I don't know what you're being paid for when I
Mm,
do this on the side and shit, man, it takes me an hour or 3 to go through a document. Like,
And don't forget,
mm,
they have lost Diamond Publishing, both Roll for Combat and Piazzo and everyone else. So changes
yeah,
had to be made, and we've noticed a drop in quality with the GM core for Starfinder, Murder in Middle City, the Frog
Okay.
adventure that James did, basically paper quality and things like that. They're claiming that they didn't get a pass with the quality and whatnot, and that they were informed about it far too late. So that we're still feeling the effects of losing Diamond Publishing and everything.
Wait,
And
what happened with the stuff under GM Core? What's
Oh,
the
the paper quality is significantly worse than the
how
player quality.
so? How so? Like,
Cheaper
is it?
paper, thinner paper.
Rick's
People are saying it
Oh,
feels almost. People are saying like you know how like thin Bible paper is.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah, so
really?
people are. That's what the comments online are saying. I did not purchase it. I bought it on Demiplane because I don't
virtual
need more
product's
books on my
better.
shelf. Well, you know, it's just
Oh
so much
well,
more accessible.
it's
Uh,
fucking expensive now. Well, for me, the Starfinder books are close to $200 each. So it's like, yeah, nah.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
it's
Get them
just
on
becoming a
Demiplane and
yeah, it's
call it
just
a day.
becoming a yeah. They're almost pricing themselves out of the hobby.
Well, here's the
Yeah.
problem. Books are expensive, and I will
Mm,
tell you that they're expensive to make. From experience in like knowing how much
mm,
some of these things cost behind the scenes, it
mm.
is not a cheap thing to do any of this. The art is
I would.
incredibly expensive.
And the
You know,
tariffs.
printing the books, yeah,
Why don't
and it just
they?
doesn't.
Why don't they look into like I wonder why they don't look into something like Drive Through RPG where probably because they take a bit bigger cut, right? Like
They
print
do.
on demand. Like I'm thinking print on demand because then like a lot of what makes it so expensive for me is I guess the shipping and then all the taxes and shit
Hmm.
that get all the various taxes we get to import them in. Um, yeah, I just wonder if if I could instead just get the book printed on demand in Australia or even here.
We
It's going
would
to save me. Yeah.
we would benefit from local publishers at that area, but when it comes down to shipping the book elsewhere, there's the tariffs and everything. Even small
Mm,
items like from artists right now, they're banding together because they've lost so many US customers. It's unreal right now. So we've got a lot of things going on at the same time. Stuff that I don't quite understand going on with the publisher who is distributing the new product and whatnot. I will
mm,
stick to my guns though. Virtual product is a guarantee at least.
yeah.
Yeah, you get into the whole like digital ownership conflict, but it is at least you have it in hand. Um,
Well, for me, it's not so. Especially the adventures, it doesn't really bother me because by the time I've run an
God
adventure,
damn it. Sorry, I
it,
did it again. I'm
Ah,
sorry.
it's
I'm just trying to move scenes to look at them.
yeah,
by the
yeah,
time I've
that's
run
fine. That's
one,
fine.
by the time I've run one, it's so different from the book that I don't even reference the book anymore. I should actually sell all my old stuff.
I've gotten to the
Oh,
point when I wrote. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
that's an amazingly annoying dripping sound.
Yes, it is. Ambience. Do you not appreciate the ambience, the mythic
Oh yeah, but it's
ambience?
too rhythmic.
It's just a metronome.
Mm. That's what it sounds like. It doesn't. Is it supposed to be a metronome? I thought
I
it was
have no
supposed to be a
idea.
cave. I suppose it's supposed to be a cave drip.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. What's playing?
Following the light. I
Oh,
don't know.
okay.
Let's take a look at Iblados here. I am already seeing like some downtrodden map quality as it is. And this
Mhm.
isn't the original maps. The original maps are in a folder. I'm looking at Iblados as we are
Oh,
given it in the module.
hmm, interesting. What effect are they using? Just lights,
Yeah, I see
energy
I see
field.
lights.
Okay, interesting. Energy field. Mm, I like looking at their setups for the. No.
I'm more
I mean,
concerned,
it doesn't look bad, right? But it
but
is
it's
serviceable.
it's it's not for the price point. the price point is what tells me whether something is worth it or not, because that's the
I
difference
won.
between Bramble. Go ahead, sir. You go ahead.
I was going to say, I wonder if they are limited in some extent as to what they can do with these maps, though. Like how much can they deviate from what's
The
in the book?
Foundry team, that's having made a map of pre-existing Paizo location. It's not that hard to do.
You had to make up river
It
names.
just takes. Yeah, well, I mean, I went through every single one ebook that they ever released and to get all of that information. But they have all those resources behind the scenes. Something like this is like they probably laid down the one that Paizo provided into a map making program that allowed them to trace it out and then add a little bit extra detail. Something like this takes a couple hours.
Right.
Right. Like
And
something
I can
like
do
I
that.
did. Right. Something like I did takes like a lot more. So it just depends on like, are you going to pay someone
No, not for this price
4 or
point.
5 days of salary to make a map? Because that's what it would take to get something like I made.
Yeah.
It will take like 4 days.
Honestly, yeah, I would much rather have a more thematic in-world, almost like cartography type map, because you're not gonna like how important is scale on here.
I would have had a Greek
It's
style map. Something
yeah.
that actually denotes like the 1E books from Belkson and stuff that had the blood on the map and everything. Something that looks Greek. This does not look Greek. It looks like a regular generic Galarian map. It wasn't made in the area of Iblados.
Okay. To be fair, if you were taking a satellite view of an island chain anywhere in the world,
mm-hmm.
you're not going to be able to tell if it looks Greek, Italian, Germanic.
But I can tell if the cartography is Greek, if they use it in the same style as the art and whatnot. That is what I am getting at, sir. Not that it looks like Greek Isles, but as it was made by Greek cartographers. Actual Iblados cartographers made this map, rather than just being a generic one.
The scale of this is immense. This is a massive region with the measuring tool, if this is correct. So,
yeah, I mean that was kind of what I was getting at too. Was just more just the look of it, like, as in, it had some decorative borders, and it's a chance to really double down on the Iblados theme, right?
Yeah,
some pillars on the side.
Yeah, or you've got your, what are they? Not the urns. What are they? The pottery. With all the, yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm one of the few people that loves using AI, but I would admit, I'd throw this through some AI and see what it came up with to Greekify it.
So this is basically what I'm talking about. I'll take an example from the ancient Greek maps to better explain what I mean. Like just have the frills on the edges of the map and whatnot, and actually use a font that befits the area. Have the mountain ledges look like actual, we can't see the islands like Nycterax said in a satellite view and whatnot. How would they know? That they're just going to see these walls of stone, basically. Because they don't have overland flight and whatnot when they're making these maps. They're making them from ships. They're not going on the islands. They know they'll die. There's crazy shit on these islands.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nitpicky point. Like, I just want a fantasy map, that's all. This just looks like a real world map.
I think this is also just Foundry doesn't really deviate in like map style, I would say, like at all. It's all very much, hey, you have this map, you can put this in any of your games, in any of your worlds, here you go. I don't think they try to really like give you the dealer's choice of prime map, right? I mean, they're just they're just giving you out what they can with the effort that they're willing to do, because something like what you're asking for
Right.
is someone a week's worth of work. Like, that's
And
putting someone on salary for an entire week to make that map. Which,
I
is it worth it? I think
Yes.
yes, but in their eyes,
bullshit
probably
on
not.
that.
This is not the traced map is not worth the price point. That's the point I'm getting at. I would at least
Okay.
like some effort, maybe not a week's worth of effort, but show me at least you care enough to do more than trace the map for charging me $40 for something that I'm going to be using for the length of the campaign. Because we're in the archipelago and we'll have more adventures. There's optional stuff with the islands and everything. I look at this and I go like, okay, it's just like maybe everything looks the same.
I look at this and I go, wow, what potential to do exactly the same thing that Indigo Isles did. Obviously not to the same degree and
Right.
scale. And Indigo Isles has, like, 40 additional islands that are all detailed out with storylines and hooks
Plus
in
custom.
their world guide. Right. So I'm not expecting that. But the potential, and here's where I will give them credit, and it's the same thing with the Shackles, is that it really allows for, hey, we want to go to that island. And then you as the GM can be like, all right, I'm going to make something. Or if your players don't want that, you can just directly move from location to location. But the amount of maps that are given for this adventure, I feel like, should I be running this adventure, I'm going to have like 50 supplementary maps to just like put people in the theme of a scene, or vignettes, whatever I would choose to do. But I think you have a lot of opportunity here. And giving the players a lot of opportunity to, or the GM, to expand on the world is always nice. And I think that's mostly why the back matter has been so long for these first two books.
But again,
how do we?
I'm not giving them any excuses.
How do we get that information to them? Like, from what you said before, it's just like we're given all this and we share so little through the actual adventure. It, like you said, it should be baked in.
Do you have the third book yet?
I did not pick up the third book yet because I didn't want anyone to deviate from our conversation with the second book. I wanted to look directly at the premise of, now that we've gotten past the deal with the rivals and the map, I'd like to talk a little bit about how much Iblados depends on hero gods, because it's gotten to the point where it really is a fantasy story. Because not only is the history of the hero gods, like people were depending on them too much, but as you discover your own history by proxy, I want to say, because you're the player is a hero god now, and the curse is eating them alive from the inside. They have to learn about themselves. They have to learn how to deal with it. The Sphinx that gives them this quest basically puts them on a trial to find out, find out about the great rulers, about the city-state and how it fell. You find out that they were pretty crappy. First of all, in order to hold office or any form of governance within the city, you had to be a hero god. And the hero gods were quarrelsome, they held grudges, they passed blame. The people themselves could not rule, they could not hold office, they didn't know how. They didn't bother to know how. So you had people like hero gods being head of sanitation and things like that, diverting rivers just to clean, like the city from garbage and whatnot. And then after they're gone, after, like the mythic sea monster ate them all or whatever, it's just basically like, no, can't pick up garbage. Hero gods do that. It's like they are literally helpless. And no one wrote any of this history down when the city fell. It's like everything was completely forgotten. I mean, what can I say to that? It's just like, not only do the people not want to rule themselves, they don't want to do anything for themselves. So, of course, the place fell to the ground. You cannot depend on hero gods.
Thought, to be completely honest.
Oh, why not?
I don't know. It just didn't really. I don't know. Just didn't even really. Mm, what's the word I'm looking for? It didn't excite me.
Well,
Like the whole.
sir, sir, this is the story. This is what you're
Yeah, I know.
doing as the player. If it didn't excite you, that's a problem.
Yeah,
I mean, this is the quest.
the
This is
giant bees.
self-discovery.
It was the
No,
giant bees.
no,
that
we're
got
not
me.
there yet. We're not there yet. You have to eat your vegetables before you can have your honey. The entirety of the quest is optional stuff that you have to get through the history and whatnot. The Minotaur kind of gives up halfway. That was disappointing. I really wanted the Minotaur to be this sort of companion that joins your cult. And on the topic of cult, and I will go into this more later, they did a bad job of choosing the name because every time a cult is personified or showcased in Paizo, it's always been a negative thing. They could have easily called it something else, like a creed or a faith, something in a more positive light to show that you were making your own mini pantheon and whatnot. But I guess cult is what they wanted. It was a choice. There's never been a good cult in Paizo.
Yeah. Well, even in real life, it's a pretty word that's very much associated with negative connotations, right?
Yeah. They could have even called it a following.
I think following would be better. Even because that also moves away from, like, I think some people might find it the whole idea of being worshipped as a god. Some people might find that problematic. So just having people follow you rather than worship you could be could get around that.
Well,
What
hopefully
if I want them worshiping me?
that's fine, but don't call it a cult.
Mm.
That's fine. It literally says that the mythic power is tearing you apart. You have to spend mythic points to let pressure out, like you're a tea kettle that's about to blow. You spend a mythic point and you make a miracle happen for your followers, which is really cool. I'll love that. That's a great thing. So if someone's trying to like solve a problem, or your mythic point could inspire them to cure a disease, or it could, make food for people like it did with Aki when she fed the entire city with her wave of fish or whatnot, which was considered selfish for some reason. I'm still not sure how. There's so much, like you said, potential, but uh, I the first part of it should have been a little bit better rather than just this haphazard history lesson. Like there's a lot of good items with the Hydra Club and everything, and I think the quest itself is incredibly Greek oriented with the Minotaur and following the blood trail and whatnot. But at the end of it, you can just kill the Sphinx and you get the same exact information. Why even do her quest?
The players don't know that.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like the players, they've done this multiple times. Unfortunately, where you always win no matter the circumstance, or you
Otherwise,
always
the AP's
lose
over.
yeah, exactly. So I think they even did this in Curtain Call with the villain who did some taking and kidnapping. I won't say any more details for spoiler reasons. But should you choose to not have the conversation, like you just find everything out that you needed to in like his journal, right? It's like okay,
It happens in all of the
yeah,
books.
Yeah. Hercules says it's probably as a tie to hero cults from actual Hellenist practices in antiquity. I did not know that. So maybe that's where they got it from.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I still think cult is the wrong word to use, but I see the relation now. Okay, now that we've talked about all the front-facing stuff, and that we will get to the cults later, tell us about the bees.
Wait, isn't Bees chapter 2?
Bees is chapter 2. We're done with chapter 1, sir. We killed the
Okay.
Sphinx. We've got the information. We know what's killing us and why. Now we need ambrosia. The way we get ambrosia is the bees.
The one thing I was very disappointed is it's very like I thought that you would have to get on the bees. Like there's all this the art with them riding the bees.
Oh, you
But
can.
that's just
You
a-
can
a-
dance.
Yeah, but it's a very slim It's very very optional. I think I would. Yeah, I wanted to have racing bees.
No. What you got was bee infiltration. Bees
Yeah.
Ocean 11.
No, I liked the whole idea of it. Like I like I think it's very evocative. The whole going into this giant bee's nest, and yeah, I like it. I can't wait to make actual nice maps of it because
Yeah, the one here is really.
Let's take a
Um,
look. Take a look. Now you may
it's-
move us.
Yeah, it's scaled really not great. It needs to be like so much bigger than it is.
Oh, because of the
but-
gigantic bees that will be on it?
Yeah,
Like that?
and you're like, this is
How
a
do I
beehive
fit?
that is full of massive bees. This does not work. The scale is completely wrong. Just like in Descent into Avernus, where
Yeah.
you had to go into the beehives, they were so small. What are we doing?
there's no player on Earth that's going to have this ambience just playing in the background. Either they're going to turn it off immediately.
Don't forget, we have large PCs like Minotaurs and other things that will be with the
Yeah,
gigantic
yeah.
bees as well.
Yeah, this map is, what is it currently scaled at? Is it scaled at 200? I'd bet it's scaled at 200.
I'm not a fan of these pop-out tokens. Like not to the extent
Yeah.
they pop them out.
It's
Yeah.
The wings do have it. Oh, that fixed it. That fixed
Yeah,
it.
it's set
Did
at
you
100
rescale
now.
it?
I did, yeah. It was at 200 like I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a B map, but it could be
Ha
much more.
ha ha. Very funny. I do agree that the frill is a bit out of bounds with the token border. I usually don't do it out that far because that's infringing on other tokens. Especially when
That's all right. It's all right if it's some big, in chapter boss or something. But when you've got like multiple creatures like this, it's just going to be a mess.
Is Iron still muted?
I haven't heard him talk at all.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know he was here.
No,
I thought he
Iron's
was
been
gone.
here the entire time. I let him know he was muted. He unmuted. I was just worried because I haven't heard him. Usually he has said something, like by now or something. He at least grunts.
But yeah, I liked the.
No, he's muted again.
I really liked the bee thing. I'm trying to hang on. I need to open my book and try and remember it because I read this 2 weeks ago now, or a week ago now. Do you go straight to the bees?
No,
No,
what you do
no.
is you talk to the statue. You talk to the statue.
That's right.
You talk to the strumpet, who's the statue, and she goes like, "My name is, I've forgotten it. Oh, the wind tells me my name. I made the ambrosia from honey before. Get me all the honey you can, but also bring me a queen bee and some worker bees, because I'd like to make my own colony." And it's just like, you were a statue 5 seconds ago. It's just-
Yeah, and then you go fight some bear, and then you make it to the hive.
Oh, it's a giant bear, though, right?
Yeah. Could have given him some cool art, but it's just a regular bear.
It could be Bramble. Maybe Bramble is trying to get the mythic honey.
Yeah. So I
Well,
mean,
the-
there's, Yeah, I don't feel there's much to say about the bees other than it's a cool idea.
Well,
Um,
I'm not going to pay $40 for a cool idea. I want what I paid for. I want the adventure.
mm.
If I was going to do cool ideas, I'd think of them myself. I mean, there's enough pre-existing stuff about Greek mythology that I can pull from the ether and get it, and put together the outline of campaign and whatnot, to that degree. But what here is developed that we do like? We need to
I thought
talk
the
about that.
research. I thought the research lab in the middle of the beehive was kind of weird.
It is.
Um,
It is. Like, does the queen bee use it? Or what? How is this justified?
yeah, like it has, like it's just a regular looking beehive, but then it says it's a like a it's like has shelves with containers and stuff on it. It's like, what are these
They're not
like
anthropomorphic
human?
bees.
But that's what it sounds like, right? It sounds like because they've got and there's a long tall table covered with numerous gigantic flower parts. So they set up a table in their beehive. It's so weird. What are the? And I couldn't really work out what was happening. Is there like a? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Are these sort of like anthropomorphic bees? But then all of
No.
the art and everything just showed them as just regular giant bees. So I don't know how or why they've set up a very human kind of research lab.
I chalk it up to their mythic bees. So they're intelligent?
Right.
Maybe?
I mean, none of them have the mythic tag though.
Oh. Hmm.
So
There
I mean, you
needs
could
to
have just
be
said,
there needs to be the research subsystem, so they have a research station. It's a
well, you don't actually
subsystem.
do research there, right? That's part of the infiltration subsystem. It's the opportunity to find the research lab. I mean, yeah, I mean, you could just describe it differently, right? I mean, it's just weird that there was like, a table and containers and things like that to me. Like, you could have just had an area that has, all of the bits of flowers arranged in different nooks in the cave and, different colored little globs of jelly or whatever. It's still effectively a bee research lab, but it's more like something that bees would make rather than what humans would do with building tables and containers and things like that. It just felt very out of place. But yeah, it's a very small nitpick. But yeah, I love the idea of the bees and the whole idea of sneaking into a beehive. Although I think that would be very hard to do.
Well, you would have to disguise yourself. I think Futurama did it at one point. You just
Anyway,
dance the talk.
that's that. I just think the bees are cool. I don't really have any more to say on it.
But that
Other
can't
than
be the whole
other
chapter, sir.
other than you definitely need more flying on bees in it. I think they should have made because the beehive's up really high, right? They should have made it the only way to really get up there is you need to get on the bees, and then you could have a cool kind of trying to stay on the bee as it's flying around trying to shake you off. Oh, they could have had a subsystem for that.
Or chase or something, like actual ride the bees to get inside.
That's probably what I would do. I would have the flying on the bees a big thing.
Well, I guess it was
Anyway.
a really good idea for a picture, but not for actual gameplay.
That basically sold me on book 2. It was the picture of them flying on the bees.
We can't judge it by pictures alone, unfortunately. It's like we're getting let down in that sense. So you've got the ambrosia, and the next step is to visit the underworld, which was something we talked about in book 1. We thought we were going to the underworld at the end of book 1, chapter 1. That's what it felt like. And the way to do that... Oh, go ahead.
So let's get off this bee map, eh? So I don't have to have the buzzing of bees in my...
Oh, I'm sorry. You could just mute it. Didn't you know that?
Then I won't... Yeah. But I want to hear the ambience on the next map we go to.
Okay.
I turned it off.
which is there one for they don't really do, that's the other thing. They don't really do
This map is also scaled terribly.
Yep, look at the Azura and the Fire Hoof Minotaur. It's just like, nope, never get in your own mages.
You
Like, this
wouldn't
is-
even
so-
get any characters through the maze because it's too small. So let's change that real quick.
Okay.
There you go. That is the proper scale. I don't know why Foundry doesn't have them scaled properly.
Well,
Seems weird.
that at least is easy enough to fix. I still would have liked, something a little bit more.
I did like how you have to, before you get to this part, how you have to climb up that big mountain,
Mhm.
and you talk to the, what was it, some kind of aspect of the wind or something. You climb that pinnacle of the winds, right? Oh, what is she? She's some bloody Zephyr. What? No.
Is this
Appellation.
This is the part with the wind bag?
Yeah, you talk to that chick and she then she tells you about because there's that miasma that's covering the island, right? And so you
Right.
go to that other island with the big tall peak on it, and you climb up and you talk to the chick, and she says, "Yeah, you got to go and fetch my bag."
Which is in the chasm, yeah.
Because isn't this part after that?
It is.
But
Yeah.
later,
You go to the
right?
chasm, you fight the two living landslides, blah, blah, blah.
And then then you blow the miasma away, and then you come to the top part. Oh, is this where you get the bag?
Yeah, in the ravine.
Oh my gosh, okay.
I'm sorry, I skipped one.
No. Just wow. That's not at all what I imagined it would look like.
No. See, this is the part I thought
that
Iron
item
would
at least looks cool.
Yeah, the picture
No,
of
what?
it is really good. This is the part I thought Iron would at least have a comment on, because this is the part in Epic. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer, like the song. There's a whole song about the wind bag. And this is a really, really good item from Greek mythology. This one I did enjoy.
Did you say there's an item picture of it?
Yeah, there's
It's in the.
There. Oh yeah, that is cool.
the art gallery.
Vortex pouch. Damn, they're going all in all fucking ambiences on this one. Yeah, let me turn that down a bit.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, is the map serviceable? Yes. Does it give you that feel of this massive, unimaginably deep chasm?
I could take the maps myself from either Demiplane or the module and put them into Foundry myself with the same effect. I'm paying, to have. Oh, you scaled it again. Okay.
Yeah, I did. They're all scaled at 200.
Yeah. So I expected at least some level of quality increase, like I've seen with either the others or whatnot. It's not just about the precedents that was set by the other modules done by the Foundry team. It's also, like you're paying more than you would for the PDF.
At least for this one, it's massive, right? Like, a lot of I've found in the Pathfinder modules is they have a tendency to, okay, here's a massive combat that you're going to fight in a 30 by 40 room, if that.
Or you do what some of the maps were in Shades of Blood in the beginning. These massive rooms with like nothing
in them. Yeah. Well, that's kind of, that's why I was looking at it. I was like, oh, well, it's kind of massive, but there's nothing here. It's just it's just not evocative. That's really what I'm going for. Like, fantasy games should be very fantastic, right? That's just so boring to look at.
I mean, making a variant and like making the living landslide like huge or large.
Yeah. Like the
Yeah, that would be
Very
great.
butterflies.
minor, very minor, but it adds an effect.
Yeah,
Mm.
like with the butterflies. The butterflies were just like, oh god, this isn't a mythic thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know they're limited by what they can do. Like, it's not like they're going to go and Metamorphic are going to go and pay to have someone design new token art for all of the different creatures.
No, I'm not
and,
expecting that.
yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for like
Mm.
what they were doing with the maps and the price point, there should be
Mm.
something extra with it. There should be at least, have the maps for the scenes that normally didn't have it, like we saw with what was it, with Claws of the Tyrant and whatnot. You at least got, something for that initial scene where that battle takes place. I won't say
I
what.
need to check that out. Claws of the Tyrant, if you say it's really good.
It is really good. Podfinder really loved it when we looked at it. We'll be doing the Rune Lords with him for the next AP, in case you were interested in that one.
Yeah.
You don't like Rune Lords?
I don't have the same attachment to it as I guess other people do. I never played through the original.
I do think that's going to be a side tangent from this AP to comment on that. I do think that's going to be a significant problem. Had they done, like we specifically mentioned this before, had they done an anthology series that came out before Rune Lords that explained the story up until this point over the last like 3 campaigns that they've done with the Rune Lords, I'd say awesome. But
Or
you're not.
they could
You're
have
not.
just bloody updated Rise of the Rune Lords for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I bet they would bloody sell like gangbusters.
Yeah, we
That'd be
said
sweet,
that
yeah.
about Crimson Throne too, but no. And Crimson Throne's the best AP they've ever done, according to some people. That was one of the first.
Oh well. Yeah, and so you come down here and you fight these 2 elementals, right? And you get the pouch.
Yes.
The
wind
and
back.
then you go and blow the cloud away.
Mm-hmm.
Although you don't blow it all away, right?
Right, because the miasma
lingering.
came from the temple, which is the origin story for the Firehoof Minotaur, because she released it thinking her friends were trespassers, and then the miasma, she used the miasma on them, transferred her into an immortal being, and then it went all over.
And you fight the Minotaur, don't you?
Yes.
I'm trying to remember it.
Or you could convince her. It's very difficult to convince her because she's very distrustful. So you might end up killing her, yeah.
That map with that you were on before with the
yeah, there we go.
The maze on it.
Yeah.
Looks like an absolute terrible map to have a combat on.
Yeah, plus you've got the Azura to deal with, in addition to the maze. And the pillars themselves look like Reese's peanut butter cups for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, but can you imagine fighting the Minotaur in the maze? How boring that will be. Like you end up fighting them in a corridor, or I don't know. That's exactly what I meant. The amount of times that my groups have ended up fighting in hallways, and it's just doesn't make for a very. I mean, that was supposed to be one of the big selling points of Pathfinder's combat, right? It's there's not many reactive strikes. There's so much more movement. And you end up just blocked up in a corridor somewhere. I like to have more interesting areas to have encounters, like a mix of like hazardous terrain and things you can interact with.
They did a maze with a hazard and a minotaur in what was it, Extinction Curse, in the second book. That was a really good one with like an illusionary minotaur and like a maze of mirrors and stuff. That was compelling. If you fought the Azura at the same time as that hazard, that would be much more interesting.
Isn't the maze is not one that you actually have to physically navigate, is it, from memory? It's a check or something, isn't it?
It's a regular, like you have to get to the center where the treasure pile is.
Yeah, but isn't there? It's not like they're going to be moving their tokens trying to solve the maze, right? Isn't it where is this?
I will tell you that side tangent about mazes. The maze in Spore War that you have to do with pressure plates.
Uh-huh. My players hated that.
Yeah, okay, I'll tell you why we didn't enjoy it. Because one player, me,
Yeah.
was on the complete top trigger.
Yeah.
When the entire group went in to fight the guy.
Yeah.
Because I had to click the last thing at the top.
Mm-hmm. And they were impatient.
And they went in to fight the boss, and then we had to backtrack and like hit 3 things to get me out because one of the things that they did locked my doors up top. And by the time I got to the boss fight, it was round 6.
So the way I got around that with my group is that hey, I finally saw signs of life from Iron. Yay! The way that I got past that with my players is once you did the pressure point once, I just unlocked all the doors and left it at like that. Because I've got no time for that nonsense, and I know how players are. The first thing they did was spread all over the maze. One person started One person started setting off all the hazards, and they didn't even look at the treasure vault and stuff. So it was just like, okay, what are you guys doing? There are 6 of you, and you're all going in other directions. The bard is just like yelling at everyone, "Come on, children, come to me! Come on, let's all go together. Let's all." It's just like, oh.
I think, shit like that works better in your head.
It does.
It operates on paper
because you're one person. You're not 5 different people at the table while another person is refereeing. They don't think like that.
This is just hey, move your token through the maze to get the thing, which is good.
Like, so do you actually have to? I thought there was a check or something that you just made a check and that. Oh, so you actually have to navigate through the maze. Okay.
Aaron, you alive?
I was going to say it would have been cooler if you had made some of the like walls have like crumbling and holes in them to make the combat a little bit more so you can move around. Use some walls as cover but yeah, just like it is now. I think you'd either all end up fighting in that middle room or just corridors, and it's just kind of boring.
It is, or it gets frustrating. With the not being able to stay as a group and just go like one person, and there's always one person that does it with the arrow keys. They'll just speed to the thing.
Yeah, I've actually in my games I've taken to I know a lot of people always have. Wait, huh?
I use the auto pausing if they move to a tile. Like I'm not gonna have you. Sometimes I will do that.
Well, I tend to only put down a map that you move your tokens around on when we're rolling for initiative. So like I wouldn't use a map like this with a labyrinth on it that you have to navigate your token through. Like, what a waste of fucking time that is.
You said it very fancy. You said labyrinth, and you had like a little like inflection on it. That was good.
Okay. So I use a lot of like theater. I'd probably just have like a theater of mind scene, and just describe it. And then when there's a combat, I would put out a map for them to fight the combat on. Like even in AV, I started just moving. They just moved the party token around. And it was only when we rolled for initiative would they break out into separate tokens, and that kind of stopped everyone zooming off, running around like madmen with their tokens, because that's what it was like. It was like herding cats.
Yes,
someone would start moving their token down one corridor, another person's going this way, and it's just like, what a quick way to TPK, opening multiple doors and yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, I must be recalling this wrong. I totally thought that the maze was like magical in nature, and you had to make some kind of check to navigate it.
No,
I must be thinking of something else.
The thing that's magical in nature is the thing you do at the end when you have to seal the soul of the Azura back into the circle, because that's when victory is achieved. Not just killing it. You actually have to seal it.
Enslave it. You have to enslave it.
No, we don't use that word. Indentured servitude. Student loans, sir.
Yeah, it was, I remember reading that and saying, "Oh, this is that's pretty nasty. You're basically imprisoning this thing for
Right.
like, can't you just send it back to its own dimension or something?" I don't
That's
know.
not this is a Greek trope too, is imprisonment, like with
Mm.
Atlas and the world holding it up, like, or with what was it, Prometheus and getting his liver pecked out and whatnot. People get imprisoned for all eternity. Like that was just a thing that happened in these stories. And with this, it's at least an evil creature that it happens to.
And that's the end of the chapter, right? After this, that's all that happens in this chapter. So,
It's
isn't it?
yes, but the way that chapter 3 starts, it feels like a continuation of chapter 2 up until the whirlpool. When you get down
That's
into the
right.
whirlpool and get to the underworld, then it feels like chapter 3 actually
Yeah, because
begins.
chapter 3 starts with your cults, all right, your followers arriving on the island, right?
Right,
So
and
you go back up to the top, and they're murdering. There's those. What are they? There's things murdering them.
no, I think that's the other part with the Lamias and stuff. This is you
Oh, okay.
take over the temple and you have to research the temple. You have to do things, and you basically get like a good ground with the following, the faith, the cult, whatever you want to call it, and you basically establish yourself at this point,
Yeah.
and you've gotten so many points that your followers have increased. They do the research for you and basically tell you different ways to enter the underworld, one of which is the whirlpool thing. And
But the Lamia thing happens later, doesn't it?
yeah,
When you
the
come
Lemur,
back from one of the yeah.
that's when you're filled with the mythic power. You finally understand how to use it. And then you do the pillar of salt thing. When you looked back at the city, that you could turn them into glass, pillar of salt, ash. You just basically evaporate these things. You get full access to the mythic power. You know how to control it. It's no longer destroying you. You've mastered
Yes.
it. And then that's
Ah,
when book 3 begins.
that's chapter 3.
Yes.
Well, yeah. With Well, the reason I asked before, had you picked up book 3,
Hmm.
is I wanted to know whether the cult continues. Like, is
I
it
would say
important in book 3?
I would say probably not.
Mm.
Just off the cuff. I don't think it was meant to be a full campaign thing. I think it was meant to be an
Mm.
intermediate thing. And if you wanted to, you could probably bring it into book 3. But I think book 3 is going to feature its own back matter and subsystems,
Mm.
which,
Yeah, it's just. I mean, we've covered it
because
before, but
we didn't
it's
go
all
back
very
to
well
this.
to.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Huh? I was just saying, it's all very well for them to say, "Oh, it's optional," but
Right.
players latch onto these things, and
Yeah.
so they'll be wanting more stuff to do with the cult in book 3, not as an optional thing, but if you're going to introduce this and have you build up your cult, even
Uh-huh.
like attracting different members and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
it should be a feature in book 3.
Rootwef Lodge?
Here's yeah,
Mm,
exactly what I
mm,
was about to say.
mm.
The problem with it is it becomes a game of gotta collect them all,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And
I,
eventually, you don't give a single shit about any of them.
yeah.
And that's what happened in Wildwood with Bramble's group, where it didn't matter. They're just like, oh, another one.
Name
Cool.
Mm,
And
name
they
all 73 members.
right, exactly. So you run into this double-edged sword of should they put attention on it and waste page space, and your group doesn't like it so they don't care about it, and now they've wasted 6 pages. It's really tough because they did this in Wildwood, and um you took some of the NPCs that you had from book 1 and then brought them into book 2, but then you got to book 3 and they were never mentioned again. So it's it's not something that I think in Paizo's current format they're going to succeed at. Maybe with these like
mm.
conjoined 3-book projects, these through lines will be kept together a bit more. I hope, but
Yeah, because they said part of it was they didn't want to waste, like because they're still trying to think of people who might not buy book 1 but just buy book 2 for some reason, and so they don't want to have to reprint the stat blocks or the rules for that
Correct.
particular gimmick in the second, and then in the third
And,
book.
and
That's
the
where-
rebook structure will really allow them to have that extra room, especially when they said that all books are going to be 256 pages or longer.
Right,
Hmm.
right. So we might see that. We might see that in the future where it all congeals nicely into this big lump of
Of soup. Of
adventure.
Soup.
Adventure.
I mean, I do understand that, but they make it like almost like a selling point of the, the whole, like it actually says, right? And if you look at the ad copy of it, kind of rules for cults, and that the players are going to attract their own following, and it just feels so like build it up. Well, it's like so many of the modules, the circus and extinction curse was another really good example of
That was so terrible to run for my players, because on top of adventuring they had to do the circus, and the adventure itself didn't know what it wanted at that point, because you have to move the circus with you to wherever those stupid towers are with the orbs.
Yeah, my players just wanted to focus on the circus. They were far more excited about collecting different, because how you collect all the different acts and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
My players kept
And
killing the axe.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
It solved its own problem.
But they
Yeah, and
recruited the
that's the thing.
hag.
So I guess what I'm saying is that if it's very optional, I would rather pay far less attention to it, right? Because if it's very optional, I don't want my players to gravitate towards it and start interacting with it,
Right.
only for it to really go nowhere, or for me to have to put so much work into it
But
to
it's
carry it on into book 3, right?
But it's so much a part of the second part of the adventure that we can't just dump it, because your followers are necessary from the Tidehunter, they're necessary for the temple, and they're necessary for the ending to help you learn and control the power.
Right, so then they should be necessary in book 3 as well then.
Let's hope that they are. I am hesitant to say that they are, because they unfortunately do not have a good track record of carrying through things like this.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if they do.
It's a lot of things. Like even what was the one in Triumph? Oh, the vampire that you meet at the end of book 1.
Yeah, I
and
loved
then it just
him.
goes, and he just goes fucking nowhere. Like the players are like, well, what happens? Like, hey, we've escorted him back. What happens to him? What? Because it's like a big thing, right? And he's just never really mentioned, or yeah. So I was trying to keep having, because they keep going back to Urgo, right? Yeah. So I'm trying to bring him back in every now and then.
I think it should be
Yeah.
like the montage in Hercules. Basically, when you gain enough following, it gains momentum, and you're doing all these different things, and people are recognizing you more and more. So it feels less like a cult, more of that following, that you get fans. You basically get fans every time you do a mythic act.
Well, it's almost like your home base, right? Yeah.
So now that you've established yourself, the followers know where to go. They advertise you. They're sort of like your marketing campaign. And they're going like, well, there's this new pantheon, and they're definitely not false hero gods. This would have been a perfect place for your rivals to show up.
Well, yeah.
Can you name all 3 of the rivals? Akiki,
Team Rocket.
Tasome.
Oh, well, I mean,
which is the 3rd one?
Oh, it's Gary.
No.
Yeah. No,
it begins with
Gary.
you.
I thought he's my ultimate rival. Oh, that's the wrong game. I'm so sorry.
Come on,
That's
man.
Pokemon.
I read this forever ago.
Yeah. Akiki, she's the Tengu barbarian. Tasome, she's the Tienza alchemist, who is very powerful now because of the mythic power. Her tonics can even cure the mythic rage that Gorm Shard produces. I mean, that's got to matter for something. Who's the 3rd one? I gave you 2. Name the third.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I read this 2 weeks ago. Also, when we were gonna do it last week, I don't remember, and I'm gonna be honest.
Mm.
I don't really care.
But
Yeah, me either.
but
I
they're
would
so
care if I
good.
was. I would care if I was running it, but I certainly don't care now.
Aw.
Yeah. I mean, like, I didn't. As much attention as I gave to like something like Wildwood,
Mhm.
I have not given as much attention to this.
I gave this my full attention, and that's part of why it disappointed me so much. The Iron's saying he's not feeling so well. That at least explains it. Feel better, Iron. You didn't have to show up just to show up. You can lay down or whatever if you need to.
Yeah, I gave this, a good skim. I read the encounters, I looked at the subsystems, and that was it. I didn't go into the super deep, minutia, fluffy bullshit. It's that is around. I kind of just looked at the key details of this when I was looking at it last week or
Yeah,
the week before.
I'm kind of similar. Like I looked at the encounters and the areas that the fights take place, how interesting the monsters will be, like how, and I'd start thinking about how I would present it.
The monsters really aren't that interesting this time around. There's like maybe 1 or 2
Mm-hmm.
ones like the Hydra. The Hydra is kind of neat because it got its own special Hydra art. It's not the generic Pathfinder Hydra, but I think
Oh,
oh, go
it
ahead.
has a lair ability as well.
Yes,
Isn't
yes, that's great. Yeah. So
Yeah.
book 1 had more mythic monsters in it with the griffins and the phoenix. Those were really good. The third one is going to have that chimera with the hood and everything on it. That one looks awesome. I can't wait to see that.
I still don't even know who the big bad guy is of this.
It's Iblados. It's her. It's the Titan. That the speaker is going around with the shard of Gorum, infusing everything with mythic powers. When he speaks and talks about the Titan coming back, he's inadvertently causing all these mythic powers to awaken because he got a shard too. His power is talking. So she is waking up right now, and that's bad because that's going to kill everybody. She's the islands. Remember, she was killed by the gods, Gozra, and the other one.
What's her name? Is that her name's not Iblidos.
That's what I've been calling her.
It starts with S, doesn't it?
The Titan something or other. We can't even remember like the main she's not even the real villain. The real villain is the speaker who's doing all this, and we don't even see him. We don't even see or hear about him.
But he's not doing it on purpose, right?
Yeah, he is. He wants her to come back.
Okay. Wow, I can't believe I've read 2 books now, and that's not sticking in my head enough to realize he is the main villain of the story.
And it doesn't even say at the beginning of this book to recap.
Wait, what's his name?
I don't remember.
They use this hellhound like in fucking 5 encounters in chapter 3. 4 encounters.
Hellhound.
This
I bet I know which one you're talking about. The
this thing. They use it 3 different times.
Yeah, the Cerebus, yeah.
With the eyes. Well, if he was a Cerebus, Cerebrus would have been a better idea to have 3 heads.
Well, okay, there's 3 of them though, and they're all named something different.
Oh, that's just lazy.
But it's the same.
The same art, yeah. And this isn't even that good art for a monster.
So one shows up in the moat.
Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway,
2 are in the narrow crossing, 1 is in the moat, and then 1 is in the streets.
We've missed a whole bunch. We've missed the cool part with the So you go out on the ocean.
Yeah.
And you're trying to get swallowed by the
whirlpool.
The big, the big Sarlacc pit. Um, and so of course there's a subsystem for the swallowing,
Yes, because you
which
need
is kind of
navigation points.
interesting. I must admit, it's I don't know how it will go at the table, but I like the idea. The whole idea of going down in this whirlpool is kind of cool. And
Having
then
just done navigation points in the thing that I am just ran, to be vague for reasons,
Mm-hmm.
it works okay.
do
It's filler.
you
But
do you tell the players they're in a subsystem
Yes.
and show them they're amassing navigation point?
you kind of have to.
Mm.
At least the way that it ran in what I did recently.
Mm.
But it's kind of all it's all just victory points in disguise.
It is.
But
Well,
I do not hate the system though. I think it gives like incremental storytelling, just
Yes.
kind of like what a chase scene would do anyway.
But could we dress
Um,
it up a little bit better, like we did with the cards for Empires Devoured, or like I did with the interview, so it doesn't really feel like, oh, you're amassing points. You know when you succeeded or not. But the way that the player interacts to get those navigation points isn't just the skill check. It's what they narrate as well. It's kind of like giving them the power of narration at that point. It would mean more if it wasn't just a number.
I've seen people play them so many different ways, and I'm still, yeah. I think it's just going to vary from group to group how they work. Like so many GMs, I've literally seen copy and paste the DCs and what you're doing into the chat, and basically say choose one. And it's like,
there's a couple ways to go it. Like the raging whirlpool is, gonna yank your boat down. What do you do? Like you could prompt them like that. Or
yeah,
like,
that's
hey, you can use an athletics check to, rig the sails, a crafting check to repair the mast, an acrobatics check to like, you're like, okay.
Because sometimes that's where I'm confused, right? Is that sometimes you read them and the skill checks seem like very obvious things that are likely to come up naturally.
Yeah.
And then other times they'll have a couple of skills in there which to do something really out of the left field. Like what? Who was going to think of that? And that's why it's like unless I tell them that that's a possibility,
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to think of it. So what I've been doing when I've been running them is like you did. I narrate what's happening and what do you do, and then I wait a little bit, and if they seem to be like for example, you could, and I give them some examples of things, but I make sure I say, but those are just ideas. I mean,
Right.
just what would you do? Tell me what you'd do, and then
I'd spend a
I
mythic
normally
point. I'd fart out a miracle. Give me navigation points. It's just like I rearrange the stars so it's where we're going.
Yeah, well, generally spending a resource will get you a point anyway, right? Like a spell, or a point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say spending a mythic point probably should as well, if it doesn't say that. But yeah, so you go down and then you wake up, and you've lost a whole lot of equipment, right? Depending on how well you how well you do on the skill challenge, you lose items of equipment, and you wake up in the swamps of the afterlife.
Right.
Which is very cool. I like it how it's all drained of color, and that's kind of neat.
These maps are so uninspired.
So
very colorful for a place that's drained of color too.
So the thing that bugs me the most is you've got a week of protection from the ambrosia, right? But time moves differently for each of the players here.
Oh yeah, I don't know how you're gonna do that.
That's something I would instantly change to. It's just like every time you do an activity, this much time passes in the real world, and you keep track of it through your interaction and actions of what you're doing in the afterlife, because you can't keep track of time, but you can keep track of what you've done and going from place to place. At least give them a frame of reference so they don't, like feel like, your thing is going to wear off soon. But for you, it's going to last another 3 days. And players would go like, well, that's bullshit. How come he has more than me just because of the planar mechanics or whatnot?
Okay, so we just did a time point system in the thing that I ran.
Yeah.
This is better or worse, in your opinion? I think better.
Worse.
But you think this is worse than the time point that we just did?
Because it's different for every player. If it were a mechanic that I would employ, it would be the same for every player. I can't just single one person out and say, like, you've got no protection left. Start making saves.
Yeah, fuck you, Jimothy.
Everyone
you rolled
else.
Poorly. Get wrecked.
It's not that they rolled poorly. It's a matter of the system works differently for everybody. And you have to keep track of it 4 to 6 different people, which I don't want to do. I'd rather keep the time point system that you had employed in that particular thing.
It's more narrative anyway, right? It's not.
Yes,
even,
it is.
It's just kind of mentioning that. Yeah, I think I would just narrate differently to each player. Like you feel like you've trekked for hours, while the other person feels like it's just been, it's just been a few steps through the swamp.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think I would spend too much time on it. Just mention it every now and then. The sort of time difference. My concern in this chapter is I don't know whether my players would actually earn enough. What are they called? Understanding points.
Yeah, that's as you go around and you learn the haphazard history again, because everything you do depends on knowledge. It's not a matter of, like the manifestation of power or controlling the power or whatnot. Knowledge is power.
Yeah, because you get the most of it through. Oh yeah, so you walk through the swamp. There's a couple of little encounters.
Yeah.
And then you meet that little shade dude. What's his name? Something. Who wants you to break into some place? You do that.
Yeah. This is the guy that runs the place.
Oh, it's Thanos.
Yeah, it is Thanos. And the thing that really gets me is his introduction to the players is that I answer to Pharasma. All I do is sit here and send people after 500 years to her to be judged. I'm Pharasma's bean counter. And he is a mythic, high-level thing. You have no chance of beating this guy. Insanely powerful. But his introduction to you is just like, I'm Pharasma's servant. And that's basically it. It's just like, I'm not going to help you. But if you do my job for me, then I'll give you some information.
You think he'll be of any bit of relevance in book 3?
No, absolutely not. He was mentioned before in chapter 1 with the story of like Persephone or Polnus or whatnot, when she saved her husband and used her keen pickaxe to dig all the way to the underworld to rescue him, and then the conspirator dragon did his thing. I don't think that's going to be relevant either, but it was a hero god story. And even being a hero god, you don't have that much protection to spare. Your time is going to run out here too, and he's very indifferent to it.
You need 14. Each player needs 14 understanding points, right?
Yes. I would do that as a team.
Yeah, they really need to do very well at this. When they meet the ghosts, was it Glades of Euphoria? Is it in the Glades of Euphoria? And they talk to the force. Was it force spirits there?
Yes,
and
shades.
That's where they get the most. I mean, they can get a few here and there throughout the adventure potentially, like in the swamps and stuff. But this is where you get the most of them, is talking to these 4 dudes, and you've got 5 rounds.
Yeah, influence, basically influence.
Influence subsystem over 5 rounds. Does it actually say what happens if they don't get enough EP? Because I really cannot see my players getting 14.
So
I really can't.
the way that it works in every Paizo module, when they can't get enough of something like caravan points or things like that, it's up to the DM to invent more opportunities for the players, so the game does not abruptly end.
Hmm.
Just
So
another
it's point.
thing
So
that's
it's
so
pointless then.
silly. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, if there's no stakes in it at all, then
Like with the Sphinx, there are no stakes. There never were.
yeah. I mean, that's the problem with like moduled storytelling, because you must hit steps A, B, and C to get to the
Yes.
next chapter,
As
right?
opposed to
So
Abomination Vaults, where you die 12 times or you get to the next floor. That was exploration. That was storytelling through exploration, which felt better.
hey, my players only lost. Actually, they lost 2. I was going to say they lost 1, but
Yeah,
they lost 2.
I think we only lost 2 as well.
I lost 12.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yes. Yes.
My friend also lost 12, by the way, with his family that he ran Abominations Vaults for, and they failed and TPK'd in the last encounter.
Like, surely it would be better. Like, if you're gonna get it anyway, why not, instead of having the understanding points be something you have to achieve, have it so if you
Or
reach 14, something you get something extra,
yes.
like an item, or I don't know, you just get something extra. Like, don't make it that you have to get to 14. That's the goal. And it's so important that you get to 14 that you'll get to 14 no matter what.
Yes.
It just seems pointless. You know, I would rather it be quite possible that you won't, but if you do, you get this cool extra thing.
I want to use your idea to make it like Disney's Hercules. I think this is the part where the Greek muses should come off the walls and start singing and dancing about what you need to learn and what you need to know, and put it in like a snappy rhythm or something that you get the players involved in it. It's just like, you want to be a hero god, this is how you do it, and just like take it from there. You know, have some degree of interaction more than the shades, where it's just like whether you've been here for 500 years or not, and whether it's time for you to move on. You know, like it would mean more if the players had something, you know, to make them feel like the mythic part of their journey isn't all about just this learning of lost history, because it's so important to the region. Why was it lost to begin with just because of one mythic monster? No one wrote it down? No one chronicled?
I know what you're going on about now. Like earlier when you're talking about it,
yes!
It's the chapter 1, how the whole island fell into disarray because they just relied 100% on hero gods. Yeah, okay. It finally clicked for me.
Yeah, that's the thing that's been annoying me this whole time. No one writes. No one knows history. It's like American history when it's lost, and I tell people, well, what about this? Aren't they doing the same thing? And they go like, I don't remember that. It's just like, are you sure you were alive for it? It was only 20 years ago. You know, like, history doesn't repeat, it rhymes. It's definitely rhyming now. We're kind of in a refrain. The hero gods are being stupid and wandering around in circles. It's definitely happened before. Aki, Tisone, and Uselev, they're suffering too. They could really use this information as well. What if the understanding points were to teach your rivals, and then all of you work together and gain control of that mythic power, and that's how you form the Pantheon? Because you've got yourself and your rivals, and you find out that your rivals were that missing piece.
Well,
I can't imagine my players would ever do
that. You're doing that thing where you come up with better ideas.
No, this is an average idea. I promise, it's average.
No.
No,
This is when Iron would usually say something along the lines of, uh, "Don't be ridiculous. This is your if you think that this is something that they would write, it's not because it's too good."
we can't keep doing this. We can't keep making better ideas. Otherwise, we have no excuse not to start writing these things. I have enough work as it is. This year has been nothing but work. Oh God. Oh. But I really want to see the rivals. I really want to see the rivals again. Have them come to the underworld and go like, we've got this part. We've got that part. Maybe if we put our parts together, that sounded wrong, but you know what I mean.
If it's ancient Greece, that was pretty commonplace.
Yeah, that's another thing about Greek mythology we're missing. We're playing it too safe. Where's all the mythic hanky-panky? What? That I can say that. I didn't say the other thing. It's okay.
Yeah.
Zeus turned into animals and went around to women all the time. Where's that?
Yeah.
Where's that?
You know what?
Golden rain falls from the sky and a woman just lifts up her head and just opens her mouth. Just like that.
Yeah. I think they are not going to do stuff like that. But
that's the material they're drawing from. That part of the culture was so ingrained in human nature. That became literature.
Disney's Hercules also didn't do any of that.
Yes, but literature, art, the Greek statues of all the naked men and women. Something.
I think Paizo plays it a little more safe, and they don't even want to say slavery, right, in any capacity. So having there be overt sexuality is probably pushing a boundary.
I would have liked something better than emaciated Thanos.
What do you mean? Look at his lips. He looks like he's gonna just like he's eaten something really sour and he's disappointed.
I didn't. I see.
I
didn't realize
his face. It looks like he just ate like a something super sour, and he's like, I can't show them that I don't like this.
Oh my God.
He's like trying to. It's I don't know. Yeah.
Why do they smell like honey?
He's definitely got stink face on. That's for sure.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Ryan is giving me better material from Odyssey of the Dragon Lords than from this, man. Oh, come on. Brian.
Yeah, and then
go ahead.
I don't know. I just think the ending of this chapter is pretty boring. Like you fight 5 of the same like hellhound.
That's
like, come on.
I thought the end of the chapter was with the Lamias and you kill their leader.
It is.
The rest of them.
You do. But like in this chapter, there's like freaking 5 of these like little hellhound things with 6 eyes.
Well, you know what would make it better? We need Cerebus. We need a Cerebus. You know, like when they all die, they like come together like Legion in Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and they make this huge 3-headed dog, and it's just like, now we will all face you with our combined power. And it's actually a mythic encounter.
Isn't there a 5-headed dog?
There's a Hydra.
No, hang on. Let me find it. It's in the undead place, in the shades. It's by the moat.
We talked about this, Ryan. We can't have slavery. It's called indentured servitude or student loans. We sent the demon to pay student loans.
The moat is just one big hellhound. It's not a 5.
Oh, why did I think it had 5? What did I?
Because you were trying to make a better idea than what we got. We've talked about this. We just talked about it.
It does say they casually intercept the strange visitors, their 5 heads sniffing and softly barking.
Oh, okay.
They talk to each other.
New art. Okay.
They didn't make the proper art. We could have gotten a 5-headed dog. 5-headed Cerberus.
Why have a 3-headed dog when you have a 5-headed dog for some reason?
Why draw a 5-headed dog when you could
Mhm.
just reuse the same art?
Mm. Oh, I mean,
But
I'm not worried about that. I
but
can AI the
Thanos
shit out of that anyway.
Thanos got his own art. God. Why?
What's the cool bird? The bird guy, Hushed Grave.
Oh,
The
he's that
art's
Pharasma's.
The
He's a
yeah,
psychopomp.
he's the psychopomp. Yeah,
Yeah. He's got like
he's
this
cool.
little he's got the feathers that he wears like a boa or like the like one of those old movie star actresses. That is really good.
Yeah, he's cool.
Cerebrus Plus. Oh god.
Why does Thanos? What's his name in the book? Not Thanos.
Hades, Lord of
What
the
is?
Underworld. Good to see ya. Glad to meet you.
No, the. Oh, is that him? No, what's his name in this? Oh, hang on, I'm gonna find it.
Oh, Hushed Grave. Yeah, that's his thing.
No, not Hush Grave.
No, I was looking at the art. I'm sorry.
His name. Ah,
Amernurion.
Amnerion.
is it Emnirion? Oh, okay.
He's wearing black and white. He's got sandals. He at least has the Greek sandals.
Yeah.
And
He looks. This is the most Greek-looking character we've gotten. Like
is.
in book 1, when you had the mob and they're just like in powdered wigs and. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're like,
That
dude,
was-
come on. None of them are like Greek inspired. Every piece of art is just recycled.
Well, they don't have art budget, right?
Apparently, they're only paying 150 per piece these days.
Oh.
Through the grapevine, apparently. Some pieces are more, but that seems to be the standard, and it explains some of these strange discrepancies that there are with like the quality of art. And like clashing art seems to be getting
Yeah.
more common. They're just hiring more artists, and
150. All you get is 150.
I'm speaking out of pure speculation here. My assumption as to why the art has wavered in the last 2 years and the quality of these things has been significantly different than others is because of that 150. Some of the higher end artists are like, no, I'm not going to produce that high quality art for 150 bucks. And then you get like some of the other art, like, bro, this doesn't even look like the same AP. Like the worst offender, and all of us know, is Triumph of the Tusk.
Yes.
What happened?
Anime.
Oh, wow.
Anime.
Triumph of the Tusk.
Anime orcs.
What happened to the art for that AP? It is all over the place. You have 1E art, you have high quality 2E art, you have anime art, you have cover page art that is completely different than anything else. The style is completely clashing.
And no one can agree on
And-
eye orc eye color.
Or what orcs look like, because apparently the guardian or the commander, whatever the hell that is not an orc. Like,
Well, they said
looks
the
like
they
a
also
hobgoblin
said
or something. Like, well, I don't know what that iconic was, but
they also
that
said the Haskadar have red eye because they've recently come up from the Underdark.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of implying that the others don't have red eyes because they've lived on the surface for
Right.
longer.
But Ardax had red eyes in that battle. One of the first pieces of splash art with the battle. Oh my god. I can't.
But then
do
he's
this.
handsome anime boy. What do you mean?
He's
Like,
always been handsome, but he wasn't anime boy. He was old man. He was supposed to have white hair, and then he's got like black hair and another one, long black hair. He looked like the Magus iconic that was transformed into Ardax or something.
It's a little strange, and I think that is, I think, one of the things that takes me out of some of these APs. From like, dude, you just put this massive like cultural and locational set piece AP, and they don't commit. They don't commit to these themes,
like the Greek thing.
And-
yes,
and it's like just go all in.
yeah.
Go all in. Give me a map that's all in on Greek theme. Give me
Yeah.
tokens that are all in on Greek theme. But the problem is that like, hey, we have this human art that we've been sitting on for 2 years. We're just going to use that. Hey, this is art we use from 1E, and like, no one's going to notice.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
that powdered
notice.
wigs thing. That powdered wigs thing in this was
NPC
very,
core.
that
It was
was
because it was
so.
an NPC core. Yeah.
Yeah, but it just. Oh my god, it's just.
It. Well, I like the ending where you turn like the people who are fleeing away from you to like pillars of glass or salt or things like that. That feels like biblical level mythic power. Like you have arrived. That was real power. That even if it's just part of the narrative and stuff, where you just like, like completely destroy your enemy and turn them into table salt or something. And then from there, it's just like, well, see you in the next book. And it's just like, what? Just like, that's how you're leaving us?
It's another thing. It's just like the end of book 1 of Shades of Blood. We're just like, but the rest of the adventure is like down the hall. We're like, yeah, see you later. Okay.
Oh, I totally changed the end of my, much to everyone advice otherwise. I changed the end of my book 1 of Triumph of the Tusk. I actually had a siege at the keep.
Oh, that would make sense, yeah.
Well, because of course you've just murdered all of the bloody people. The content. He's going to come in and help the yeah. So anyway, So I just figured, so in the book, the Whispering Tyrant has all the undead go around the keep because there's allies in there. I'm thinking he would know. He would know they've been killed.
Plus, Tar-Baphon betrays people all the time, just like he was going to betray Zergash in the two-headed doll thing in the Corpse Man. You think he cares about a promise he made?
Yeah, so it was way more satisfying to end on a siege, like to actually play it out with them manning the walls and the tide of undead, and yeah, it was cool. Yeah, and so I like to try and end each of the books on more of a kind of a big set piece. I mean, you've just done 3 chapters, right? Because I actually tell my players, okay, you're at the end of chapter 1 now. Okay, you're at the end of chapter 2 now. Okay, we've just finished chapter 3. We're on to book 2. So it's cool to end on a big set piece.
It is, and I wish the developers knew that. I wish the developers had that same kind of attitude when it came to fun at the table.
What I will say is like Indigo Isles did that phenomenally. Every end of the chapter was a fantastically thematic.
I really want to bloody run Indigo Isles.
Beautiful. It needs work. The world.
The very end boss in Indigo Isles is freaking cool, man. I really want to run it just for that.
My players loved the ending of Indigo Isles. They had some problems with it for reasons that I will not get into this discussion. We can probably do something at a later date. But they had some problems with it. But they loved the ending. And it was, it was very thematic.
And you made a special song for them, and you did some other things. Yeah. So you dressed it up. You did dress it up. You did extra work in that.
But I don't think it needs it as much. Like I've read and I gave my players the option of what to play, and they wanted to go with a Paizo one, but I don't know why. But I was really hoping for Indigo Isles because reading it, I felt like I'm not going to have to do nearly as much work with this as I would others, because I just really it actually felt a lot more fresh. It felt like, I don't know how they'd write, but it felt more like, I don't know if they had multiple writers or what into it.
They had three writers,
but it felt tighter. It didn't feel like. It didn't feel like 3 separate people working in 3 separate rooms and not talking to each other.
You want to know why? It's because book 1 was written, and then book 2 was not started until book 1 was finished.
Yeah,
and then book 3 was not started until book 1 and 2 were finished. And then after Linda wrote book 3, they went back through the entire thing, did a whole nother editing pass, a whole nother, through line pass, and all of that, because they did that. But what Steven said is it was so much work. It was so time consuming to wait until everything was done
Yeah.
that if they do another adventure path in the future, they're not doing it that way, but they will
Aw.
have a lot of editing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's too much time.
I think
Yeah.
it's not even that. I think it's more just the writers need to say, okay, I'm doing book one. Here is my rough outline. These are going to be the kind of things that are left dangling at the end. These are the things I'm introducing.
Yeah.
It would be good if you guys could tie these up, or decide whether you want to either tie them up or do something or carry them through.
Pass the buck.
My players had almost no questions at the end.
Mm.
When I did open floor, and I'm like, ask me anything about it. There wasn't any like hanging threads.
Mm.
There wasn't anything that was like, that's beyond the scope of this adventure. I don't know what to tell you.
Have they done another one yet? Are they doing more adventures? I haven't really been keeping an eye on that.
Yes, but it is a So it is the project that I was alluding to.
Ah, okay. Yeah. I don't need any secrets or anything.
No. It's public information. It's a Kickstarter bonus for Roll for Combat for it's called Release the Kraken. So
Okay.
it is an adventure that they're releasing that is going to be around 80 to 100 pages. And it is going to be set in the Indigo Isles.
Is it just a standalone or is it a AP?
Yeah, it's a standalone adventure, one level, about 80 pages.
No, okay.
And it can be put into Indigo Isles.
Have they announced any plans to do another like AP type thing, or is it not profitable? Is it not?
Nothing that I would be able to speak about.
Again,
I couldn't tell you.
Again, they just lost Diamond Publishing, and they lost a lot of income from all those books. They will never see money from.
Over $100,000 in lost inventory. Yeah.
So I know that, because they do a lot of source books. A lot of their, like, they've got the Battle Zoo, all the Battle Zoo bestiaries, and then the
Bestiary 3 is I don't know if it's made public yet, but if it's not, it'll be very soon.
I haven't used any of their, because they have ancestries and stuff as well, right? They did the whole like year of the, I don't know what they were, like year of the monster,
Year of Monsters, Year of Legends, Year of Titans. By the end of this year, they will have 36.
Yeah, it's crazy.
40 ancestries, I think, between all their books by the end of this year.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't do a lot for me, the ancestries. I feel like Pathfinder's got so many already.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know players and some GMs just love that shit. But yeah, I would. Yeah, I was just wondering because I thought Indigo Isles was really good. And saying that, I've never run it, so I should it's fine me saying, oh, they should do another one because this one was so good when I haven't even run the one. I should run it. I think it would be a good. I think it would be a good one for new players too. Like it's. I feel like it was quite
very colorful.
I would agree. I'd agree.
But about this one,
oh,
go ahead.
It has a
this
nice.
One does not have. Okay, so what I will say against like Jewel the Indigo Isle, Jewel the Indigo Isle is one of the most consistent thematic adventures I have had the pleasure to experience in the last over 15 years of TTRPGs. It is one artist for all of the maps. It's Jared Blando, which is he's an incredibly famous, well-renowned map maker for the last
award-winning,
right? Yes, very much so. And he did every one of the maps. They are all consistent in art style. They all look great. It's the themes of the AP are very. It knows what it wants to be. Unlike this, I think. This is fine.
I don't think it is fine.
So much.
I think this could be a fantastically fun module to play. AP to play Mistweaver. Like, but yeah, I would need to. I would want to change the tone. I would want to lighten it and make
Yes.
it more. Like I said, Disney Hercules is my sort of touchstone for this, which
But
would mean
Disney
a lot of work.
But Disney Hercules had a core identity and a theme. Does that follow? Does this module have a core identity and a theme? Because it feels
I don't know.
like
Well,
it feels like
the
it's.
fact
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the fact that I don't even know who the bad guy is despite
Yes.
reading the first 2 books is.
Yeah.
But they've always had a problem with foreshadowing the big
Oh,
bats in the book.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they often feel like they just come out of nowhere.
It really is unfortunate.
Mm.
I think a lot of these APs would benefit significantly from showing their big bads a little bit more.
Mm.
Like, Wardens of Wildwood was awful for this. Like, you see the big bad.
I thought it was going to be
In maybe-
Tarbafon.
Wait, who was the big bad in Wardens?
Spoilers for people who are listening, but
Whoa.
it was a person the players were familiar with at the beginning of the
Oh
game.
yeah, yep. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
who it is now. Yep.
Okay,
Veridin the
okay.
Green.
Yeah. Oh yes, totally, definitely him. But yeah, like it had such an awful representation of that like you're told about all the terrible things this person is doing, and you see them one time at the end of book 1, and one time at the end of book 3 when you fight them. They have a paragraph to say, and that's it. That's all.
Yep.
That's all you get. Nothing
No,
else.
they lost me in Wardens when they didn't really give information on who was behind the whole assassination thing. Like, yeah,
Or-
Yeah, it was.
because they said it's not important, right? But of course it's important. The players, I know my players.
The entire
would-
adventure is
would-
predicated on. Like,
Yeah.
you cannot tell me that the inciting event for the entire adventure is not important.
Yeah.
because my players, I know my players. That would be their number one thing that they would be like. We need to find out who did this. You know. And they're not going to be satisfied. It's not important. You just got to deal.
Yeah, it
with
was
the
one of the
aftereffects
reasons
now.
why when we got book 3 and Bramble and I did our live read, at the end of our live read, I said, like, I don't think I'm going to run this for my players. We'd already started. I'd spent, God
Yeah,
knows
so
how
you-
long on that map,
Yeah.
and all of the extra resources, and turning the entire forest into a hex crawl to make it more like Kingmakers. That's what my players wanted to do more of. And in the end, I went, wow, this product is not worth my time, money, effort, and energy, even though I've already put so much into it. It's not
Yes.
worth it. And I hate to say it, but it's a real failing of these adventure paths. I don't think any of them in the last year and a half have been as egregious as Wildwood.
Thankfully.
Um,
But that doesn't mean
but-
this one is good. This one lacks
I just-
substance. We need more of the Greek identity. We need to know who the villain is. We need to know more about our mythic destinies. Because
I think when you look at these, you've got to look at them from 2 perspectives: as a GM and as a player. As a player,
yes,
I think they'd have a great time, because I don't think, just in my experience from running, I have about 4 like serious set groups, right? From what I know of them, they would have a good time in this. I don't think they would go, oh, what is the theme? What's happening? They would just enjoy it. And I think that's who Paizo is catering to. I think they're catering to the kind of players who just want to fight stuff, talk
Correct.
to stuff.
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. But the GMs have to be appeased too. Otherwise, there's going to be
Oh,
no one
yeah.
to run it.
Does this AP have as much thematic identity as Wardens of Wildwood?
No, it doesn't even have that much, because at least you had the Moot of Ages compared to the Funeral Games. The Funeral Games don't even hold a candle in comparison. The journey of going through the Verduran Forest is much more flavorful than going through the city-state and these islands. I have more of a good
But
impression.
you are taken to the underworld, which I guess could be if you God, I really just hate to, hit the nail on the head, but this is the exact same structure they use for book 2 of Wildwood. By the way, you go to a different
Yeah,
plane in chapter 3. Oh boy. Like, same director, by the way, of this product. It is beat
what
for
a
beat the
surprise.
same character structure. So my assumption for book 3 is that we're in another plane in chapter 9, or chapter 3 of book 3.
Tell you
Probably
what,
the
I'm
realm of
pretty
the
fucking.
gods.
I am
Yeah.
very tired of studying for festivals. It's becoming an absolute ridiculous trope for these APs now.
And we
Well,
have John
Iron
Compton to
said,
thank for that.
yeah,
Mm.
Iron specifically said something along the lines of the Tavern Festival start is Paizo's version of the tavern start that D&D became infamous for.
Mm.
Yes.
And I think that is accurate at this point. I think it is very clear that they are using a formulaic structure for these APs that is incredibly dry. When we can immediately tell that you are copying the same formula from another AP, you're not being creative enough. Because this is the same structure as Wardens of Wildwood,
It
just
is.
with a different with the different setting.
It sounds like what's the next one? What's the next one called? Hell's? Is it? It's not Hell's Rebels, is it?
What? Why
It's
would you think it's Hell's Rebels? What the? That's
No,
entirely
no. What's it
different.
called? I know, but what is it called?
Hellfire Crisis.
Hellfire
is what it is.
Crisis.
That's it. I said it's
Yeah.
not Hell's Rebels, but I knew it had hell in it.
Yeah.
So
Is
you
that
know
the
when
name of the
you
AP? I bet that's. I'm sure I
It's the
read
event.
somewhere.
It's not really an AP.
Oh,
It's more like an event,
what's
like
the
the
AP?
Drift Crisis.
No, what's the AP that's coming out for it though? They've already announced the name of it. The next one.
The Runelord one.
Oh, is that the next one? I thought
Yeah, that's the next one. That's what I was talking about before.
Oh, no, I thought there was
Hellfire
it's
Crisis.
Hellbreakers. It's Hellbreakers the
Right.
Yeah, Hellbreakers is the AP.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, what about Rune Lords? Does that start with festival? We must know a little bit about the first book already, right?
I don't want to do a festival. I want to see Sorshrian, and I want to see her fight Xandergul. And that
Cool.
there's
That
gonna
means nothing to me, but cool.
No, you have to know these names. Sorshrian is the
And but they can't expect if they want to make money, they can't expect.
which is what we talked about in we had this exact discussion at the end of our discussion of Claws of the Tyrant, which we stated very clearly that they're going to have difficulty with this product because it's predicated on 3 APs that were written for first edition.
Right.
The average audience that is currently playing Pathfinder is predominantly Dungeons and Dragons refugees that came over between 2019 and 2022.
No one knew who Sorshrian was when she made a guest appearance in my Strength of Thousands game. They didn't know she was the Queen of Varisia or the Queen of the Runelords and things like that.
One of the Runelords was mentioned in Stolen Fate too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't even know what the hell a Runelord is. I mean, it's
right. So, like, how much of a primer are you going to need to give to your players? How much background information are you going to need? Like, how packed full does that player's guide? Does the player's guide need to be like 30 pages of just like, here's what you need to know?
Like the Carthan Alliance.
Or they should have done like what I said, the anthology that goes over each book with one chapter in the anthology, like they did for Claw of the Tyrant. Like, that would be perfect.
Honestly, they should have taken the opportunity. Hey, here's the anniversary edition of Rise of the Runelords, updated for Pathfinder 2 Remastered. And then, I mean, because it's basically just compiling it all, right? It's not that... Shit, someone's already done a conversion. sneak
Or
in.
do a one shot. Do a one shot where you can at least learn about these things in like the same level like as the first chapter and whatnot. Don't make it like Spore Wars and go like, hey, these 6 countries are getting together for Keonan. You have to politically get them together. Who are these countries? I don't know Multhun. I don't know Nirmathas. I don't know who Ustalav is. Nobody who just started and finished a 1 through 10 is gonna know any of those countries.
Yeah, I think that's a big flaw of Spore War, or significantly. Like it comes in with the expectation of I know who these people are and I know what's at stake. If you know nothing about the lore, my God, like thank goodness some of your players did some research. But if they didn't, they could have gotten through all those delegations lickety split because they don't
Yeah.
fucking care.
I gave them Myth Keepers videos. That's how they learned.
Well, I know most of my players wouldn't even watch those videos.
Exactly.
Most players literally think about the game when they log in.
Yeah.
And then when the game's over, they don't think about it again until the next session. I'd say that's the majority of my players. Like 95% of my players probably couldn't name 3 nations on Golarion. Probably including
fine.
if I said which nation is this taking place in. Actually, even we're like up to chapter 3 of Outlaws of Alkenstar, and I said, just out of interest, what is your guys' understanding of what's actually happening? And only one player in the group knew what they were doing, why they were trying to do everything, and I was just like,
oh, so what I do frequently, because I like to know what my players remember, and Bramble does this as well, is he makes the players recap the sessions. I make my players recap the sessions because then I get an understanding of what the player thinks happened. Which is helpful, but yeah.
That's psychological warfare, sir.
I do that. Oh, sorry. Yeah, every session I have the recap, but they're just talking about what happened last session. I mean, do they have an understanding of everything that's happened so far and what's happening? And it was shocking to me to realize how little a lot of players keep in mind. Yeah,
yes.
It's very much in the moment. This is what's happening right now. What is this in the grand scheme of what's happened so far? It's just don't know.
I'm very sorry.
We just know that.
Oh, go ahead.
No, but I actually think it's quite representative of most players. You're lucky if you get players that like I know when I play, I tend to write session logs and stuff like that because it's how I've got ADHD, so it's how I stay.
Yeah, especially if you're running
focused on the session.
Like I'm just not gonna fucking remember 4 games a week if I don't write it down.
Exactly.
Oh no, not when I'm running them. When I'm playing, when I'm a player, I keep a session log and stuff
notes.
because it's how I stay focused.
I'm sorry, gentlemen. Go ahead.
Oh no, that was it really.
I am sorry, gentlemen, but we have gone over by an hour, and the two of the 4 of you have games that they need to get to.
Oh, I'm not playing tonight, but that's okay.
Yeah, yeah. Just wanted to make sure that we were aware of the time and whatnot.
Yeah, no, all good. But my summary is, I still really look forward to running Myth Speakers.
But it's not going to be the module Myth Speakers. It's going to be Dice Knights Myth Speakers.
Yeah, but still, I mean, I wouldn't have run it without looking at the module. Like, I wouldn't have just suddenly thought, I'm going to run a Greek-themed... and I mean, there's lots of ideas that I will take from this. Some of them... Yeah, some of them more than just a framework, some of them will just be making the maps more interesting or the combat locations more interesting. Whereas others, I would completely redo them.
Wow, Alton. I tell those players to find another DM. Alton says he's had players demand that he recap the session for them while they eat dinner.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow. Nice. Nice.
I mean, if
Wow.
my players, if my players can't remember what happened, I recap it. I mean, mind
Yeah,
you, my
I'll
players
do
are,
that.
Yes.
my
Yeah,
players
I'll
are
fill in
pay,
the blanks.
my players are paying me to some extent.
But they're not paying
Um,
Alton.
mm,
Mm.
yeah, but
Right.
yeah, cool.
Yeah, I think it's okay. And if I ran this, I would replace every single map. I would expand on the islands. I would do
That's
so
work.
much to this that it wouldn't even look like the same adventure path when it was
Mm.
done.
Yeah, that's
I think
All that this all that I think I would use this adventure path for is framework to build something
I
better.
wish we had all the time in the world, so all three of us could go away and go, right, let's all do chapter 1 of Mythica, and then
Yeah.
that would be a cool experiment actually. And then each GM run their
Oh,
chapter
round the
1,
robin.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and just it would be so interesting to see how each person's foundry setup is and what their maps end up looking like, what they've done with it. Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah, that would be so cool. But yeah, a lot of
It would
time.
take a lot more work, and I'm gonna be honest, like there are other adventure paths that I'd rather put my attention and effort toward.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Or
like
my own.
what? What's I'm interested in, because we seem to just talk shit about every AP.
Yes.
I'm interested to know what ones you like.
So one
Apart
that
from
I was
Indigo
a big
Isles.
fan of was Fist of the Ruby Phoenix. I thought was very good.
Ah, yeah.
Uh, players did not know who. Jesus Christ, it's been like so many
Haojin.
years since I did it. What is Haojin? Thank
Yes.
you. I
I
did not
spent
know who she was.
I did so much research into all the society plays to find out about her trial, the tapestry, and everything. My players didn't give a shit. I had read over
Exactly.
76 pages of history about this woman, gotten to know her on the level of someone who had actually followed her story in Year of the Phoenix and everything, and all the side quests and single thing adventures, was prepared to come at the table and explain who she is. No one wanted to know that. They wanted to fight.
Yeah, I don't know why that's surprising to you.
I wanted to be prepared as a DM
Mm.
because with an adventure like this, if I knew what I knew now, I would not have paid for it, because if I'm going to change it in such a way that it is no longer the product that I bought, sell me the outline for $5 that the writers got, and I'll use
Love
that
that.
as a framework. I won't use a finished product as a framework. Give me a break.
Honestly, I can kind of see why Paizo doesn't want people to make videos about this stuff, because I could probably get enough that I need to run my version of Mythspeaker just by
The general
watching some people talk about
consensus.
it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't even read the module live anymore because we were told no. But at the same time, you are right. We've given the outline, the general idea. We did not read verbatim. We did not violate anything, and the adventure is still not here.
Well,
It's
I
the
mean, I
adventure
would
you
rather,
make.
like, I find I would rather my APs, my modules, be written to be used while I'm running, not
Mhm.
be like, 'cause these are terrible to run live from the book because they're so waffly. There's the text isn't laid out, and it's really easy for a GM to sort of pass really quickly in play. Like if you're trying to find specific things really quickly, there's just so much waffle, like just yeah. And so that's why the first thing I do is make it more concise, just so I can pick out the bits that I want, and then I go and format it.
You know who would be good at that? The people we paid to do it, rather than you.
That's what I'm saying. That I agree. I agree to some extent. That I mean that's why I don't buy the Foundry modules. Like at one point, I was buying the product 3 times. I was buying the hard copy, and of course the PDF, and then the Foundry module. And so they were getting 3 they were basically getting me to purchase the same thing 3 times, and then when I analyzed how much of it I'm actually using verbatim, yeah, it was definitely not worth it at all for me. And to be fair, I mean, the same could be said about like Wizard stuff. Like some of their stuff is practically unplayable, the Wizards of the Coast stuff. But I feel like
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Sergeants of
I feel like
Avernus.
Paizo is almost catching up to them now, where the last, I don't know, geez,
They've
most of the
gotten
ones recently are just so like I
it's
could never run
complacency.
this as is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
complacency. They have they got really lucky, I think.
Mm.
Like the first couple of APs that they released were okay. But what
Mm.
really cemented it was Abomination Vaults.
Mm.
And after that, honestly, like people like, wow, Paizo is so good. This Mega Dungeon is like amazing. Like you've got to play it. And I agree. If you play Pathfinder, you need to play Abomination Vaults. It's good. I think that you should play it as a player, 100%. But the problem is nothing has really compared since. I think the closest thing to like mwah, beautiful is Ruby Phoenix.
Are you
I've
sure
heard
it
really
isn't
good things.
Seasons of Ghosts?
Yeah, Season of Ghosts.
I haven't played it and I haven't read it because I want to play it.
Yeah.
So I can't include Seasons of Ghosts in that opinion because I still want to play it. So I haven't read it yet. So I have heard fantastic things. But what is interesting if in that line of argument, it's like if that is the consensus, they're clearly doing something right on that continent if they have 2 APs that are just bangers. I would imagine that's why we got the world guide and the character guide. You know,
that was a whole lot of different writers than they normally use too, wasn't it?
Yes, because they had to.
Yeah.
They did the correct amount of cultural, like honoring the certain things.
Yeah, we got Sin HHS to write a whole bunch for it. She won an award at Gen Con 24 for it, I believe. Was it World Guide that she won it for, or was it the character guide? I don't recall.
She's a
but she won some
freelancer.
award.
She's a freelancer. That makes it so much difference from the people who do this, like at the company itself. This is someone you hire in a contract.
You know what I find interesting though, that if Abomination Vaults is so awesome, and I agree, I had a really good time. I've run it 3 times now. It's interesting I hear nothing about the 5e version of it.
They just released it on D&D Beyond this week, so you might start hearing more.
Was it only this week? I thought it'd been out for a while.
It's been out for a while in print format, but it is now officially on D&D Beyond as of this week for 5e.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. I still would have thought there'd be something about it, and having the hardcover out.
Honestly, I have not heard anything. I even think there's a Foundry module for 5e that's been out for a while, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But there's none of the other Adventure Pass that I will sit here and go like sing high praises. They're all decent, but what ended up happening?
Strength of Thousands is really good, really good.
What I think ended up happening here is that they started off very strong with their APs.
Yes.
And they did well. And then they released things like Abomination Vaults, and then they released things like Ruby Phoenix. And then at the same time as the pandemic, they had a massive strike. And they lost a ton of employees.
Plus ORC.
Right. So I think that they just, in the last 2.5 years, they just haven't recovered.
That's why the freelancers feel like they're better writers than the actual people who are salaried.
I don't know if I'd say feel like. I think they just are.
I have to say it vaguely enough that I don't offend anyone.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't follow every single author's work, but it is.
I compulsively research them.
Yeah, it's just mildly unfortunate that like they don't work together enough. We're
Mm.
getting into the same discussion we get into every single time we do this, by the way.
Yes,
But
that's why I tried to stop you
uh,
a half hour ago.
but yeah, I don't know. It's fine. I don't think there's anything overtly wrong with this. I think if I was to run it, I would replace a lot of the maps because they are not nearly Greek inspired enough.
Mhm.
Mm.
The tokens,
didn't
I'd probably
get-
replace token art.
We didn't get the same appropriation or honoring of Tianza to Asian culture as we did Greek culture to Mythspeaker. I don't think they put in that
Yeah.
same level of effort.
Yeah, I agree. And this has good bones. I said that for Warren's Wildwood, but I genuinely mean that I think you could make something good with this.
I definitely can.
It's just, it's
Okay.
another one of those things where it's like, I can make this good.
Right.
How much of my time is that going to cost me?
Well, I look at it as a box of cake mix. Yes, I can make it into something good, but I didn't buy a box of cake mix. I bought a ready-made cake to serve to 4 to 6 people.
I think that comparative to some of the other recent APs, this is serviceable out of the box.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think that's what I mean. I think if you ran this out of the box with players, I think the players would have a good time. You might not as GM because it would
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
there'd be a lot of things that you're looking at and thinking that could have been done better.
Yep.
But players don't see that. They don't see what could have been. You know, they're playing it. So yeah, I do think players would have a good time. And so yeah, I mean, I am actually seriously considering running this one, which I haven't actually been. I mean, I must admit, the first book, I
It's weak.
was
It's very weak.
yeah. I was like, I think the first book I'd have to do so much work to make it what I want it to be. Second book,
This
other
felt
than
better.
maps and things like that. Yeah, I liked it. It actually felt like you were doing cool shit.
Yes.
The first one was
Again, the book should have started here. That's what it feels like. This might be another 2-book AP.
I think you have to start normal. Like you have to start as chumps before you become heroes. And I think that's what
0 to hero.
they're trying to do.
But they do have a tendency to sometimes write book ones that are like completely useless to the overarching point of the AP.
Mhm.
And that's happened a couple of times. I don't necessarily think that's the case here because you need to really establish this location.
I also thought it was going to be establishing the rivals, which we're going to
I wanted to see more
throughout. And to hear that they're just kind of
sidelined.
I mean, why am I shouldn't be surprised, right? Because that always happens. But yeah, I actually thought they were going to follow through the whole time.
It's not like they can't make that decision with I won't say the 2 team names that are consistently showing up in Ruby Phoenix, but there are 2 teams that you are consistently running into. There are more teams, but there are 2 specific teams. One that is a group of rivals and one that is kind of
they say they're rivals.
Yeah. So you've got these 2 groups and they are shown through all 3 books, which is good. So it's not like they can't do that.
Yeah, and there's no excuse there that they said, oh, we couldn't really do that because we needed the pages for back matter, because, I mean, there's not that much information on Team Show, right, at that point, and they still managed to do it.
It was good enough to the point where you were focusing on the tournament itself that you weren't concerned with Goka and Tianza, because the adventure didn't focus on Goka. The adventure always focused on the fact that
it was all about the tournament.
You win.
Yeah.
You win. There is no losing. Because if you lose, the adventure is over. Alrighty, gentlemen. I think we've done all the discussion we can about book 2, and we have gotten off track. I want to thank
significantly.
Yeah, I want to thank Dice Knights, who has always been a pleasurable guest. You have made a great deal of wonderful conversation with us, and it's good to hear you speak so positively about this because I personally have my doubts about it. But you made a good case with what it is strong on and what you do like
Mm.
about it and what you want to change. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys very
cool.
much. We definitely went off topic, but I appreciate your time, and I will catch you next time.
Yep. See you guys.
Yep, yep. Feel better, Iron.